Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
I'm Larry.
Hi, I'm Jesi.
I'm putting my drumsticks away.
And I'm Josh. Today we are going to be going over a poem written by a Campbell McGrath called Benediction for the Savior of Orlando. The discussion starter that I have is this. Benediction for the Savior of Orlando is a poem about a generation being heavily lost to a world of commercialization, beginning with an unveiling of Orlando, Florida, specifically Disney World,
Yay!
before concluding with a tirade about Chuck E. Cheese. This poem inspired another poem that we discussed on our channel, a poem about Chuck E. Cheese a friend posted on Facebook by Tajay Silverman, touching on a similar message. Do you think this poem is accurate on the influence commercialization has on our youth?
Yeah, I think so. It's biting. It's a biting critique.
Who the hell, excuse my French, but who the heck craps on Chuck E. Cheese? I had my birthday there for like 12 years.
Yeah, you never eat pizza given you by a rat. It's the first little pizza.
It's got a cute little black note.
Hold on, we got our fan coming in.
I mean, I'm not joking. I had my birthday there for about
I think
5 years.
But
then we,
It's like, wait,
realized it was terrible.
Yeah. But just the way that this,
got lost in the ball pit. Help me!
just the way, how brutally honest this is.
It's screaming at me.
The fact that it starts...
So, I as I was reading over it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember what this is about. I actually took, like, 3 minutes before we started this, and I read an interview that he had, and I can't remember his name, but
Campbell.
about this poem. The question was, like, why are you bad-mouthing Orlando? And I felt like right from the author's mouth, he really says, he's like, I'm not bad-mouthing it, I'm just, Orlando is like the fast food chain of America. You don't have a lot of history, everything looks like it's been just built, and everything's being unveiled, and it's just everything that everybody thinks about outside of the U.S. of what America is Orlando. I've been to Orlando, and he's right. There's not a single unique thing in Orlando that I would say is, like, unique, that isn't some sort of company chain.
Disney World is
but
amazing.
It's still a company. I love Disney.
You still have trademark at Disney stamped on everything.
Yeah.
The Disney pins, the Mickey Mouse symbol on every little thing.
Yeah.
But it's like everything
Stamped,
there is a
branded.
chain.
Yes.
It's like you're branded. You walk around with the Mickey Mouse brand on.
Everything.
Because you're a Disney slave. Yeah,
But
it's
it's
biting
true.
criticism.
What'd you call me?
But you have...
You too, Charlie.
Restrain me. You're going to have to restrain
But
me.
just the whole idea, it goes from Disney, then it goes to commercial big-name businesses that create our landscape, Disney being one of them. Disney's pretty much invading the entirety of our television. Our media is owned by Disney, ABC, Fox.
Yeah, I was going to say,
They're just-
it's like, that's
They're
all
just
of it.
seeping through every
Yeah.
little crevice.
Right.
Then
Every
it
generation, right, since the 30s, pretty much, has been influenced by Disney to some level.
The interesting thing is people see Disney as the embodiment of all that's good. It's not.
No.
That's all that's
And
cute.
anybody that's saying that Disney is revolutionary when it comes to being diverse and politically correct, that's absolutely hogwash, because they're doing it because, in a way, you can argue that's what is in right now. If they were being revolutionary about diversity, they would have done so back in the 30s and the 40s. Instead, they incorporated to what that audience felt was popular. A Song of the South would have never been created.
So I'm actually, not to go too off track here, but I'm actually part of like a Disney Addicts Facebook group that, because I love Disney, I love going to Disney World, and I don't care what anybody says. I think, Disney did do some pretty incredible things that have shaped our entertainment industry.
Yeah.
That being said, anytime somebody has a differing opinion on that Facebook page, everybody jumps on them. It's like, that's not what Disney's about. That's not what Walt Disney stood for. It's like, have you guys ever, even thought about reading anything on Walt Disney?
Walt Disney.
Well, the thing that reaction kind of gets at is the fact that is what this poet is talking about. At one level, is how these brands are taking the place of religion,
Yes.
right? Like, these are beliefs that are closely held, closely guarded beliefs, and if you blaspheme the name of Snow White or whatever, it is.
Like,
Walt Disney was a figure of his time.
Yes.
He wasn't a revolutionary. He was just a person of that time that shared beliefs with the general train of thought.
I think they said he had no imagination, and look at this, he created...
I was gonna say, don't get me wrong, I think, you know, he
does
is
have-
a pretty
yeah.
prominent figure, and
Yes.
he's done some pretty incredible things
Mhm.
that, like I said, shaped our entertainment industry by a lot.
Mhm.
That being said, he is not a savior or any sort of religious...
No, we shouldn't be bowing down to him.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are, like Larry said, where it's, we are replacing, you know, we're
saying
holding
God.
on to
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
Have you ever
instead
seen
of...
Clarence Nash, who did the voice of Donald Duck, the original Donald Duck? You
What
would
about
think you would think that he took on what kind of personality would you assume him to have?
Cantankerous.
You think he was cantankerous?
Do you think he actually sounded like Donald Duck?
Yeah, he walked around. Yeah.
He was the complete opposite. He was a very meek-looking businessman. He was on What's My Line. They couldn't even
Really?
guess who he was. He was very reserved and you could say soft-spoken. Can you hold this product in your hand? That's as far as they got. They couldn't even go take the direction that he was the voice of Donald Duck. Obviously, he had to do a Donald Duck impersonation.
Of course. My dad
Yeah.
used to do that to me when I was growing up, and he taught me how to talk like Donald Duck. So I
like
can't do
ducks in
full
general.
sentences like he can, but...
No, my aunt was good at that.
Yeah.
I always sound like I'm in a dentist chair. Suction.
But otherwise, moving right along, the fact that cards are the chosen and credit cards the elect. One thing that really stuck out was Judge Judy.
Oh, yeah.
Judge Judy holds the scales of justice, which that pretty
Oh,
much says a lot
man.
about where Judge Judy balances the scales of justice, which says a lot about the way that we perceive the world around us. The fact that when people think of a courtroom,
They think Judge
they
Judy.
think Judge Judy.
Yeah.
That whole what they see on TV is what it's like in real life. When it's
Right. Yeah, that's what
prob-
it is. That's what
And
it
a
is.
lot
It's
of-
getting at that
That's, yeah.
kind of reality swap, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you see it too with people. I swear, Disney and antipsychotic medication being prescribed, I think overprescribed in a lot of places, I think is leading to people not freaking out about bears. Like, I mean, they do a bear hunt up north. Half the people up there are screaming their heads off because I guess they grew up watching Bobo or whatever.
Boo Boo or Yogi
Moses,
Bear,
yeah.
but that's Hanna Barbera.
No, I'm going
Oh,
with
Baloo
Jungle
from
Book.
the Jungle Book.
Yeah. Yup, talking animal.
It's not gonna be, I'm gonna eat you, and then go look for the bare necessities. That's not the way it works.
That's right.
And
Yeah, bear's a dangerous wild animal that could kill you. I mean, will they?
Are you
Probably
talking
not.
about
but
someone I know, or...
I think-
they're a threat.
Yeah, talking
I
about
was just
someone
saying
saying
I
as
know.
a threat,
But-
not as a cute, cuddly thing in your yard.
Yes, and there's this wonderful,
Could you imagine that?
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the website called Cracked.com. It used to be one of my favorite websites. They wrote an entire article about how people mistaken, thanks to Disney and things like that, you know, these horribly dangerous animals for something cute and cuddly. Like, they started off with hippos, and they show you that perfect Disney, like, in a tutu,
Yeah.
like, I'm a hippo, and it's like, they kill, well, I think it's like 2,800 people a year.
Well, they're
Wow.
giving them so
Like-
many marbles.
You mean 2,000 people?
Yeah, 2,800.
Oh, 2,800. I
Yeah.
think you said
Oh,
20.
no, 2,800 people a year
Right.
on
Mm.
average.
Is that how it works?
But-
Hippos.
Mm.
And here Disney's like, but they're so cute in a tutu. And don't get me wrong, they are so cute in a tutu.
Yes, they
but, like, the pretend animal, not the real
anthropomorphized.
animal.
We need to take... I know where we're going with this, and I don't want to be the one to say it because it's against most of what I believe. This is supposed to be for your entertainment. This is something that the family's supposed to go, all right, the kid's got a good report card. We're going to go to Disney World. Yay, Disney World, okay.
And that's, like,
Things like
exactly, it's like we're
It should be,
confusing
that's how it should be treated.
entertainment
Yeah.
Right.
with
entertainment.
reality.
And people, and
you
they know that,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to Chuck E. Cheese, where the kids are in control of
Yeah.
their own
Or a
destiny.
kid can be a kid.
There's that. It's a simulated society
Right.
in Chuck E. Cheese.
Hence why I had like
The,
5 birthdays.
Like
I-
a factory almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
The quote
Sorry,
that
sorry.
every Chuck E. Cheese is erected across the mall lands of America is another nail in the coffin
I wanna
of
hear it.
human aspiration. They are warping the endeavors of the young
You can tell I don't like
and
this one.
contributing to an unhealthy lifestyle.
You know, I don't normally take...
And that whole idea, the way that they have the because Chuck E. Cheese is the kind of place where you get the same amount of tickets no matter how good or bad you do
Yeah,
on a
I
game.
agree.
Right.
Yeah, you got
And
20,000 tickets.
So they make mention of the fact that cheating at skee ball is a pipeline toward cheating in life, where what's going to happen when they get older, they're going to know how to cut corners and cheat systems and be able to still have the backing of higher entity. This is the ruling class, in this case, the commercialized entity, setting things up so that they become subservient. And they're being given their candy, and in this case, it's a free range of Chuck E. Cheese, free range of arcade games, ball pits, tunnels,
the thing is,
Dance
I
with a
feel
Rat.
like
It's a mouse.
So kids should be allowed to have that treat once in a while. And I think
That's
where
what I
this
agree.
is becoming an issue, is because,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say because I don't know, I've never actually gone out and taken surveys and stuff. Parents get stressed out and they just want to, like, okay, you know, I guess I might as well here's some pizza, there's a playground, just go.
Yeah.
Because they need a break, which is totally understandable. Being a parent is hard.
I wouldn't want to do it.
When you have companies like this who make that so easily accessible, and then put that kind of bad frame of mind into the child's head, that's when it becomes an issue. A treat once in a while is not an issue, but
it's
all the time.
There's something about Chuck E. Cheese though is so nihilistic. Like,
I
everything in there is depressing.
It's
you go up, you start pumping your quarters in this stupid machine and it's giving you like what?
They're tokens, but
whatever it is. But you know what I mean? Like they give you just a couple back, and then you bring them and buy some piece of crap at the counter. You know, it's just like
you're putting $20 into something you buy at the dollar store.
Yeah, and there's something about that, right? Where it's like,
work.
you know, we're supposed to teach kids that you hard work and you get something good, right? Out of it, not you get some piece of crap.
That's
why you go to the real arcade.
That's very reflective of the way that, go further to the left, that's the way society works, where
everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah, everybody gets the further left you go, they create the system where no matter how hard you work, you're still only going to get a certain amount of morsels, whereas that whole idea is being instilled.
Like the participation trophy.
Yes.
Everybody gets the same thing no matter what.
Yes.
And a lot of the kids don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
they're just being trained into something.
Yeah.
And there's that idea that you can save tickets, but the most you're getting is a crappy lava lamp or
real crap.
Something you can buy for significantly less than the amount of money you spent trying to get the tickets to.
You would have to invest about hundreds of dollars to do that, especially on the Chuck E. Cheese format.
And again, with me, like I said, I love Chuck E. Cheese, but I mean, I don't go anymore, obviously, because like you need to get out of the tunnels because you don't belong in there, and I don't want to have a tag on my life. Okay, no, seriously, no.
But then there's also the idea. The
pizza man, he plays the drums.
I mean, the fact that it's not clean, and
I know
it's just that sense of disorder.
It's a company trying to make money. They don't actually care about the children and the experience that the children are having, and the experience that the parents are having. That's very
reflective of the
just goes like
establishment. As long as they're making their money and getting their benefits or getting their benefits and instilling a sense of subservience, control, pretty much them being satisfied on this little puppet show of theirs, their theater.
Ouch.
To them, that's a success, and that they're keeping people contained.
Now, I will say this, that at Disney World, they do have little pixie dust moments where cast members do care and try to do something nice for the kids to give the kids and the parents a good experience. So I think in comparison to Chuck E. Cheese, they are a little bit better. But at the same time, you know, it's still a commercialized, just branding. It's just branding.
On the basis of the...
And it's kind of soul-sucking, too.
Yes.
Standing there in line waiting to go on a stupid roller coaster all day.
Hey, Disney is the happiest place on earth.
It's like a cat. It's like your cattle.
On the
it's like your human cattle.
On the basis of
brought through the.
We're gonna edit some of this.
On the basis of an experience, Disney has a little bit more to offer, but but still, they've pretty much instilled that sense that you haven't had it made until you've been to Disney World.
It's true because you know again, I'm kind of going back to my Facebook group here. They have it happens. Like I can't even tell you how many times a day, where it's like, okay, we're surprising our kids with Disney World, and these kids are like, oh my gosh, all of my friends are going to be so jealous because I went to Disney World, and it already creates that. Even now, sometimes I catch myself like, oh my god, you haven't been to Disney? Like, and it's like, I don't mean for it to sound like I'm talking down to anybody or anything, but it does. It creates almost like that status of,
Like,
you know,
it's that,
starting at a young age,
Mhm.
where it's like, oh, you're nobody if you haven't been here.
It's what, again, we said this
That's
earlier.
an interesting point about it too.
We said this earlier, and it needs to be said again. We need to know, okay, kids, it's time to go back to reality. And as much as I love going into a ball pit and getting stuck in the tunnels,
It's a treat.
Yeah.
It's
You're
it's a
putting
treat.
thoughts in my head.
Have you heard of Celebration? Celebration, Florida? It's in Orlando.
No.
It's like a neighborhood or a town or something. It's owned by Disney. People actually live there.
Oh my gosh, yes, I have heard of that. Their
Maybe.
houses are incredible, and it's all Disney related.
And
I've
it's
seen
Christmas.
That's where Florida Project takes place.
It's
by the
Christmas every day. It's
Yeah.
Celebration. So you pretend that it's Christmas every day. And they even like put like fake snow out at night or something.
And
like
how many
that.
people
Is
live
there
here?
in the morning?
How many people live in
That's a
Celebration?
good question.
I-
A few thousand.
You do have to look it up, though. I
I'd be
actually am
interested
aware.
can you go to
See,
school dressed like a little
I'd
elf?
be interested to see the kinds of people that live there.
I
The
would, so.
people who have the money to live there.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they're going to be a little off though. There's going to be something a little
Oh,
off
yeah,
about it.
for
If
sure.
it sounds appealing to you to go and live in a place where it's always Christmas.
Rich,
I mean, yeah, okay.
rich people
it
live
sounds
in
nice
Island
in a cute
Heights and
little
Lavalette
childish
as well.
way.
yeah.
Well,
But
I
to
mean,
actually make that happen, it's like
That's
yeah, but
crazy.
again,
Mhm.
we're supposed to savor those moments. Christmas, yes, it comes once a year, but it's something we have to look forward to and enjoy it.
It's a treat. It happens
and I love
once a year
treats.
for a reason,
Yeah.
because that's reality.
And then we have Easter, but again, some people, you know,
Like,
different-
don't get me
whatever.
wrong. Every day, everybody should be happy, because every day life is a gift. That being said, you don't need Christmas every day to be happy.
There's other
You know,
days
like,
of the year
you don't
that are
need
worth
Halloween every day to be
celebrating.
happy.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Like,
No,
I know. I'm sorry.
Don't piss on Halloween. Excuse my French.
$2 million is your answer.
To live in celebration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you,
crazy.
cameraman.
Even with that money, I don't know.
yeah, it's a revolution. No, that's what it is. It's that old biblical revolution of being the author of reality, right? That's what Lucifer wanted
And
for
this,
himself. That's what
and
God is. And by saying I can live in a place, I can make it so it's Christmas every day. That's a very dangerous thing to be messing around with because of the fact that it is not true, and you're going to be living out a lie.
the
And that will
real
catch up
meaning
with
of
you
Christmas too, because even this pagan commercialized Christmas that we celebrate is in itself very simulated. The real authentic reason of Christmas does not cost $2 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And there's
Christmas
probably
is
very
that
little mention of it in
commercialized.
Celebration
Well,
Florida.
Christmas is always
It's probably all about Santa Claus and Christmas trees.
But that's the thing is,
I don't-
Christmas has now been commercialized
It's been
to
commercialized.
sell $2 million houses.
Right.
Which Christmas should be about being with family and loved ones,
Yes.
and the
or
movies,
however
yes,
you celebrate
know,
it, dancing around a tree or sitting with family and praying, like however you want to celebrate it. Like, it's about being
Hanukkah.
together.
About the
Or
night
Kwanzaa.
Yeah,
the
Hanukkah
meek
too.
and hurting
It's like,
the earth,
it's-
about the observance of the birth of Christ.
Exactly.
Even though Jesus was born in
Easter.
August. No.
Well,
I heard he was born around springtime.
I think
he was
August.
born on Christmas.
He was-
Hilarious, like
That's,
Christmas.
He was
they,
born-
they made the holiday Christmas.
Yes.
No, he was born on Christmas. You could actually look at if you look at the Book of Luke and you figure where Zechariah is there in the first chapter of Luke. Elizabeth and Zechariah are talking about the birth of John the Baptist and getting ready for that. And then we find out that he had priestly duties in the temple at that time. If you look at that,
Book of Luke
that
was
charism
written
that was in.
150 years after the life of Jesus, though, so you
The
do
whole
have to
Bible
take
was
it
written-
Well, no, it's first
with a grain of
generation.
salt.
Well, no, you don't. It's the,
Mark was first generation.
Topic check.
we're
Oh,
getting
I'm
off
on
topic.
it.
Otherwise,
Yeah, we're
No.
and I digress, and I go
It's,
on a tangent.
It's the scripture is the God-breathed word of reality, right? So that's what it is. It doesn't matter exactly when it was written, and you can't say when it was written anyway. You can say how old the oldest existing copy is, or something like that. Those stories, of course, were handed down for generations before they were written.
And the first people, the first Christians, were, as we sometimes we have to remind ourselves, they weren't all that bright. I mean, they were a lot of them were illiterate. It's not
it's still
necessary.
within question as to
You know.
when
But
exactly.
getting back to
But no,
Yeah.
I know.
Back
I'm
to
just-
your point.
yeah, just back to the
But
idea
some
that
people couldn't read. or
no,
write.
you look at the Book of Luke, and
Yeah.
it's not overtly written that it happened in December.
Yeah.
But you could tell if you look at the traditions of the Jews at the time, when Zachariah's priestly duties would have been him going into the temple to light incense. You can get an idea of when that was, and from there you can figure, because then it was Mary came for 6 months, so you can figure the birth of John the Baptist from that, and then Christ from that.
We shouldn't be commercializing. We should be enjoying it, having fun. Yeah, make some movies and whatnot, but still, we need to have an understanding. That's what I'm trying to say. But
His birthday would be called Christmas, but
yeah,
not necessarily December 25th.
No, it's not necessarily. I can't prove it, but
No,
Yeah, I was
most
gonna
likely.
that date was chosen
No.
specifically.
So even
The-
prior to
December
Jesus,
25th,
yeah,
not the day.
even prior to Jesus' birth, the winter solstice was celebrated by many religions.
Christmas
you know.
is not the winter solstice.
It's close. The winter solstice is the 21st.
Yes, it's not.
So it's after.
But that's,
Christmas is the 25th.
yes. No, I agree with you.
But that doesn't matter, right?
But it's still
even
that
even if
point.
it was, even if Christ was born on the 21st, that would not mean that it was stolen somehow.
I'm not saying it was stolen, but you know how when you go through like Zoroastrianism and their backgrounds, they have a lot of religious ceremonies based in them around the solstices, specifically a tree with gifts. I think what happened, you know, again going into modern times, you have all of these little bits of good put into a holiday that makes people feel good and want to be together and celebrate something that they all truly believe in, which is Christmas. And then like I said, for other people it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever.
And these traditions were
Thing is, it's all around the same
They
time.
came to the attention of different businesses and different commercial entities, and they found it as a great opportunity to make profit.
And that's what it is. It's because all of these different religions and things are all around the same time for whatever reason. It's like you said, it has become commercialized, and big companies are like, I know how to benefit from this.
and that's
It's
when
the same
we
thing
screwed
with
up.
Valentine's Day. It's the same thing with Easter. The same thing with
Mother's Day,
Halloween,
Father's Day.
Thanksgiving. Everything has been so commercialized instead of what it's supposed to mean to the person celebrating
Don't
it.
mind me interrupting. We call them Hallmark holidays in my family.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Hallmark holidays, and it's a shame because, you know, in the Christian religion, Easter is a very important day. That's
is the most
rising.
important day.
Yeah, exactly. It's the rising of Christ. Like that, and here big companies are with, oh, here's an Easter bunny and some eggs. Like, no, like that takes away from what. And I mean, again, other religions might have their reason for having a bunny with eggs. I think it represents fertility in springtime, whatever.
I like
but
the
it's
chocolate.
like, again,
Eggs.
exactly. That's commercialized.
I know,
Instead
but
of what it's about, what
it-
it's supposed to
you know,
be about.
It was
Well, a lot of the pagan holidays too were baptized through the church, where, like Halloween, for example, that was a pagan thing that we kind of turned into a more Christian thing with
With the All Saints Day.
All
Yeah,
Saints Day.
it's
Yeah.
All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve and then
Yeah.
All Saints Day.
Passover is probably the worst offender because you have all these food that you could just go through Passover with just matzah and vegetables, but then they add all these other weird products that don't have any bread in them, and then you don't need those, and they put a huge market on it, and they make them very expensive.
There's a market on every holiday, and it's just,
It's
it's a
sad.
shame.
Alrighty
is.
then, do we
It
have any
takes-
final thoughts?
No, I like this play. It's great.
I think-
or this poem rather. It made me laugh a few times.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's
I
really
think
well
it's a
written.
rant.
I think
And it's so scathing and relentless, and I want to read it again.
he went head on, and he really got what he wanted to accomplish.
He broke my heart like every other boy.
And
I'm kidding.
What do
a
you got
great
against
piece of work for discussion, because look how we went.
Yeah, we
we really went this way and then that way and then came back.
Alrighty, I will
And then
leave
we
a
went that
link
way.
down below to where you can find the original poem. And if you really like what you see on this channel, please support us on our Patreon, for the money that we make will help us provide you, the viewer, with more content. The way that we don't want to use the money to take advantage, we want to use the money to help and provide and give back to you. For now and as always,
Wait a minute, Josh, wait a minute. I just got back from Chuck E. Cheese. Oh my God, it is awful there. But at least I won this fire hat. Oh no! Now I've won nothing. Actually, that's yours. You
are
can
you,
have it.
are you sure that you want it, or did you steal it?
I stole it. I'm a bad boy.
Be sure to join us next time on another episode of Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.
Keep reading.
Bye.
And don't steal.